How's it going, subscribers? Hope all is well. So, this week I have not been able to get any work done. It turns out my neighbors are either renovating their house or doing some work in one of their yards. I think both. But we've got tractor trailers backing up, barrels banging against the ground, hammers going, sawzaws. That's why I kind of decided against doing my normal setup since we probably run into some interruptions. I guess now would be a good time to address my new channel. I know I did kind of an update video on this, but I think I'll dedicate today's episode to that alone. I created a backup channel called A Reference for Alternative Narratives. It's sort of to help fight against the censorship that's happening on Google and YouTube. Now, YouTube isn't the only platform I've utilized. I've actually been a prolific blogger and writer for about 3 years up until finally joining the YouTube platform. I felt the kind of subject matter that I dealt with often was likely best addressed if it was done with a one-on-one conversation rather than in a video where somebody can just shut it off as soon as they hear something that doesn't resonate with them. You know, something I've noticed that's happening to social media in general is this societal scorn and vitriol against people who are sharing their opinions, particularly opinions that are contrary to the standard model narratives. Entire channels are being taken down, thousands of hours of video content is being removed. You know, I've seen some of this work. Some of these people put a lot of effort into their videos, making them look nice or sound really good. I mean, I know I can't record if there's too much noise going on in the background. It's a shame to see what's happening to free speech. People can't seem to voice their opinions anymore unless they're very tactful with their language. You never know who you're going to offend anymore. So honestly, I do recommend more than one platform, or a platform that isn't centralized, isn't controlled and monopolized. You know, making videos isn't the thing that I'm best at. I'm actually a writer. It didn't take long to go from writing to content creation and then communication. I know I've said it plenty of times before, but once we've reached an appropriate level of understanding, what good does that do us if we can't effectively convey that information to another party? I think it's important to be able to work around people who don't necessarily see eye to eye with us, who don't always agree with us. That keeps us sharp. But ad hominem attacks and outright character besmirchment is another story. We don't see the same aspects of the gentleman's deliberation that we used to see. Again, now it's scorn and vitriol. I think that's an effective ode to the division campaigns in place designed to keep the people separated. Keep them from coming together to fight a common enemy. The enemy, however, probably isn't what you think. See, we're in the middle of a spiritual war, and we may not always recognize the weapons. To make this more palatable for the average viewer, for the last 16 years, going on 17 years now, America has been at war with Afghanistan. Not only that, but there were several wars in between that period as well, and the bullets are still flying. Now, if you were born in the last decade, or have children that were born in the last decade, they likely don't know that this war is going on. The same can be said for a spiritual war. So while I'm using physical means like a computer or tablet, the message remains very spiritual. You know, I'll admit I'm still trying to find myself here and exactly what I should and shouldn't be saying, trying to see which niche exactly it is I can fill. But I gotta tell you, navigating diverse personalities is not as easy as one might think. If you aren't versed in conversational acuity, it's very difficult to reach out to people outside of our circles of belief. With all that's going on now, I just don't know how practical it is to try and preach to the choir. It's time we start to reach a wider range. But before the noise really starts to pick back up again, I think I'm gonna end this here. Don't worry, there's much more to be said, and I will be back next week, hopefully in better recording conditions. Take care of yourself.